Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So, working again on the second pass. I actually realized that what I have here isn't the water yet. It's actually the hills and stuff surrounding the shore. Yeah, because sort of right at the bottom of this pass will be the beginnings of the lighthouse, and then it reaches into the water. So because this was all blues, I thought it was water, but actually it's the hills in the background. So they're kind of faded out since they're like the not in focus part of the picture kind of thing. So, but yeah, made a lot of good progress. It is moving along. So we're at 13.91. So yeah, like I said, 15% at the end of the month ended up being not feasible, but 14% I think will be. We started at 10.5 at the beginning of this month, I believe. So yeah, not quite 5%, about 3.5%. So, but like I said, I don't have a deadline, so that was just an estimate. Whatever gets done, gets done. So yeah, we're at 42,701 stitches to start off. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So just checking where I am. 60's there, okay. Yeah, just making sure I'm in the correct big squares. A lot of this looks quite similar, so I have to be careful that I'm not getting confused here and starting in the wrong place, because I have done that before. And then it is a big pain to try to figure out where you went wrong. Yeah. Again, like last session, not as many different colors here, so last time it went quite quickly, and I think, yeah, it may do the same this time. I think we got like 300 stitches last time, which is like the most I've done in a session, I think, so yeah, I was quite happy with that. So yay, my husband and son are driving home today after their work out of town. Yeah, went pretty well. Unfortunately, my husband's gonna have to go back in a couple of weeks because, yeah, he just could not get all the red tape stuff cleared up. The stuff that people on the other end were supposed to handle, yeah, didn't get done in time, so. But what they did manage to get done went well, so he's happy with that. Yeah, and my son sent me a picture of on the road, a bear family crossed the road. A mama and 3 cubs, black bears. Yeah, my husband had a coworker once who came here from Korea, and he was not used to all the wildlife we deal with out here. Yeah. Because, yeah, he was sort of in the metropolis sort of area, so, yeah, he was definitely not used to, we got all the horses and cows, the domesticated ones, and then the wild ones, deer and foxes and, yeah, bears, even moose, although we haven't had as many around this area. They tend to like the less flat areas, I find. And yes, moose are huge. They're bigger than you think. Yeah, somebody shared a meme saying, you know, this animal's smaller than you think, this animal's bigger than you think, moose are bigger than you think, and I said, yeah, as a Canadian can confirm, they're huge. In fact, that you have to be careful. It's one of the reasons why when you're driving through areas like Jasper and stuff, that even though it's a freeway, you're maximum of 70, because if you hit a moose, it could crush you. Yeah. So you want to be able to see one that they're there, the wildlife is there, and stop. Yeah, we had one time we were driving through Jasper, and we were stuck waiting for a good half hour because the whole place was covered in mountain goats, and they didn't care. They weren't scared of the vehicles at all. So yeah, we just had to wait till they decided that they were gonna mosey on down off the road. Yeah, my husband, they lived up in the mountains for a while, and he said one of his friends, his car got ruined because a mountain goat ran into it, or the big rams, you know, the ones that crack their heads together when they're fighting. Yeah, one of them charged his car and broke the radiator. And you know, the animal itself wasn't even stunned. It just kind of went on its way after that. But yeah, the guy's car was toast. I said, can you imagine having to claim that on your insurance? You know, cause of accident. Oh, I got rushed by a mountain ram. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I really like having my visible grid lines, because, like I said, a lot of this is the same area, so I'm counting the big squares and making sure I'm at the right vertical thread there. So being able to still see the grids because I sewed them on is really helpful. Yeah, so one of my friends is from Australia, saying, yeah, you need to come visit me so you can see all the kangaroo and wallabies and stuff on the road, and I can see your bears. Yeah, I had an aunt and uncle who lived in Ucluelet, which is on Vancouver Island, and the bears there, they're not scared of humans at all. Yeah, he said, like, they'll come right up onto your porch and steal your garbage can. Like, yeah. You know, most of the time they say the bears don't want to meet humans, but in that area, yeah, they don't care. They're not bothered by us at all. We're way more bothered by them than they are by us, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, when my dad was a kid, they went camping, and a bear came out of the woods and clawed down the tent that my uncle was in, and it collapsed on him. Thankfully, it just clawed the tent over, didn't get him, you know, but yeah, they saved it. My dad showed it to me, and it's like, you know that bears' paws are big, but like, it's hard to really grasp the sheer size of them till, like, I saw the slash marks and they were just like, you know, several inches apart, each one just huge. It's like, holy mackerel. Oh, like, yeah, you know that their paws are big, but yeah, like I said, it's hard to picture it till you actually see the evidence left behind. They're huge. Yeah, or my husband said, what was it? This was when they lived up in the mountains in Hope. And he and his buddies were out in the woods, and they hear this, like, bushes shaking and this grunting, and they think it's their buddy, you know, and they're chucking sticks at it and stuff. And then all of a sudden their buddy comes up behind them and is like, hey guys, what are you doing? It's like, wait a minute, you're not in the bush? Then what is in the bush? I think we better get out of here. And yeah, it was a bear. And thank goodness they hadn't ticked it off enough to come after them, because yikes. Oh. But yeah, he said it was like something out of a, you know, comedy or horror film. Like, hey guys, what you do? It's like, wait a minute, if that's not you there, then who is there? Or what is there? Oh. Yeah, we actually lived on a road when I was a kid called Big Bear Ridge. And it was called that because there were a lot of bear sightings there. But we lived there for 2.5 years, and thankfully I never saw one. Especially since, you know, we walked home from the bus stop, which was a few blocks. So yeah, that could have been interesting. Yeah, my mom worked for the Ministry of Environment at the time, so she just did the processing and stuff. But yeah, there were guys there who had to capture wildlife if they got too close to populated areas and return them to to the forest. And so, yeah, she got to see a mama and baby mountain lion because, yeah, they wandered too close. And so they had to tranquilize them and then return them back. Yeah, because you do not want encounters between wild animals and that, like that, and humans. Yeah, it's like they said there's a reason why they say don't feed the wildlife, because there was one lady, she fed deer and stuff on her property. And yeah, deer are harmless. You know, I mean, they'll chew up your plants and stuff, but they won't hurt you. Said the problem is, guess what deer attract? Yeah, mountain lions, because they like to eat the deer. And yeah, you don't want to be attracting those to your yard. Yeah. Yeah, they say, you know, you're Canadian if you know more than one person who's hit a deer, and at least one person who's hit a deer more than once, which is true. Yeah. Yeah, one of my old coworkers, he hit a deer more than once because he lived out of town. And I don't know, I guess he didn't really pay attention as much as he should have. And yeah, they can take out your side panels if they're trying to race across the road and they misjudge where you are. Yeah. And yeah, generally they're definitely the worst for the wear in those situations. Although we had one time, we were at a friend's birthday and she was driving us out to do mini golf. And I saw this deer coming out across, and I'm thinking it's sort of coming towards us. And I'm like, she sees that, right? I think she sees it. She doesn't see that. And I was about to say, oh my gosh, there's a deer. And bang, we hit it. And I glanced off the hood, went up the windshield. Amazingly, didn't break anything. Landed on the side of the road. Of course, it's a car full of girls, so we all scream, you know. Anyway, she drops us off at mini golf. She goes back out to check. She says it was gone, so she thinks they just stunned it. And thankfully didn't actually injure it because, yeah, it must have run off. So we were lucky. And it was lucky, too. Yeah. Yeah, or saying about the size of animals, I thought foxes were bigger. Like, I thought they were the size of a wolf. I didn't know they're more like the size of a small dog. Like, a bit bigger than a terrier, but not by much. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. You don't see them as much out here because you usually only see them at dusk and dawn, and I'm usually not on the road then, so. Yeah, we lived way out of town for a couple of years, and so my husband actually put wildlife whistles on our car. They're just sort of these small little tubes that you stick, and as the air goes through them, they make a high-pitched whistling sound, which humans shouldn't be able to hear, although some of us can. But wildlife can and doesn't like, so they stay away from the roads. Yeah. So we thankfully didn't hit any. We had a few close calls, but yeah. Yeah, we had one that ran out in front of us, and it was raining, and my husband hit the brakes, and we hydroplaned. Ugh. But thankfully, nobody was behind us, so we didn't get smacked into from behind, and yeah, we didn't hit the deer. It ran off, so yeah, that's one way to get your heart rate up. Holy cow. Oh. Yeah, I had once driving through Kamloops, and I'm just sort of on autopilot, and I look over, I'm like, oh, look, there's a big rock. It's all mossy, I guess, because it's all kind of brown, and it's moving, and oh, that's not a rock, that's a huge bear. Like, oh. Yeah, that'll wake you up. Ah, silly me, I was grabbing a new thread, and actually, there was already one parked there. I did not sleep very well last night, I tell ya. Yeah, I actually didn't sleepwalk. I often find when my husband's away for more than a couple days, I start sleepwalking. Because I think when he's there, he stops me from wandering around, yeah. I go through phases where I sleepwalk and talk and stuff a lot, and then I stop for like a year, and there's no really discernible trigger. It's very annoying, though. It says, too, I can be quite convincing in my sleep that something is wrong. when nothing is. Yeah, but I looked it up and apparently there isn't much of a way to stop it from happening. I mean, except for the usual, they tell you, no, try to reduce stress, don't take stimulants near bedtime like coffee, but that's not an issue for me. I quit drinking coffee a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was giving me stomach pain, so it had to go. Yeah, the older you get, the more foods go on your cannot eat list, I find. Yeah, lots of different shades of blue here. Should hopefully be somewhat interesting, and then heading into a bit of beige here. So there's still a bit of sky. So yeah, this is sort of the sky meeting the mountain area here, or the hills, and then into the water. And then we're gonna continue till we get to the peacock's neck. Although that won't be till next month for sure. Okay, so back to this color. Okay, so this one isn't very long, I don't think. No, it's okay though. I'm gonna travel up and down along this edge here, filling this in. As you can probably see, there's a lot of one color down here, further down here as well. I had more time to stitch the other day. I got to like 700 stitches, but I had to quit because, yeah, I could feel my forearms were starting to hurt, so better not push it. I learned from the hard way, yeah, don't push through the pain because that's just gonna hurt. And in the end, I have to take a day or two off of stitching to recover, so I actually get less done, so yeah. Pardon me, better to take a break and read a book or something. Yeah, unfortunately, it is still smoky out there. Yeah, I got a birthday party to go to later this week, and it's outside, so it would sure be nice if the smoke cleared a bit, but I'm not counting on it. That is for sure. Grid line there is kind of drifting a little bit. One drawback of the sewn on grid line. Pardon me. other part one is. Yeah, not very, I had a feeling. I remembered it not being too long, so this one I'm going to carry down because the one that is parked there is probably only long enough for the 3 stitches in the corner there. Yeah, if it had been a long piece, then I would have ended this one off. Just carried on stitching with the other one parked lower, but since it's going to run out, it makes sense to carry this one downwards. Let's see how long this one is. Okay, this is a fairly long piece. So carry this one up. I think that'll be just enough for this one stitch here. Gee, my aim is not what it used to be. Darn it. No. Oh, I unthreaded my needle. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, darn. Thread it again. Oops, that would be incorrect. Making a dash instead of a diagonal there. Here's where it fades into, yeah, the sky again, the clouds. Oops. Not having good luck with knots today. Yeah, so as we go further, pardon me, the colors kind of curve that way because it's the other side of the hill, so I may follow that curve and let the colors go that way instead of continuing to slant in this direction. We'll just see as I get there. It sort of depends. Come on, you. Let's go. There. Okay. Yeah, this is not going to be enough for these last 5 stitches, so tie this off here. For now, I'm going to kind of split this color up and continue with these stripes I've been sort of stitching it. Yeah, just carry on that way for now. So I did that further on the other edge once I reached the wall. Yeah, there was a section that curved the other way, and I ended up following it because it just was easier. Yeah, I saw some projects, especially in the diagonal stitching Facebook group, where some people, they don't go out of their diagonal at all. They strictly stick to it. Wow, you're way more disciplined than me. Oh, not again. There, let's try to select a different color there. 519. Oops. There we go. making sure I haven't sewn through that other strand. I did that a couple times. I pierced it with the needle. It's not good. Oh, closing in on 200 there. Yeah, once again, when there's fewer colors, it just flies right by. And again, it's going to start curving this way, another hill there, so see what I decide to do when I get there. I plan ahead a bit, but not too much. What have I done here? Oh, did I miss one here? I think I did. Yeah. Can't count, can I? Yeah, there we go. Back on track. Okay, and I'm just gonna check the length of this other one. Part right here. Yeah, it's only long enough for like a single stitch, so I had a feeling. I remembered from working with it earlier that that's how much it was. Well, we may reach 14% this session. We'll see. Okay, extend down into this big section here because, like I say, I like to break them up so that I don't overdo it with the repetitive motions. So I'll often do like sort of a row or two of a big block and then do 1 or 2 stitches of another color before doing another row of the big one. Yeah, that helps my my arms not get injured. Oh, look at that, 222. And we're at 13.99, so yeah, we should hit 14% this session, no problem. Yeah, not sure when I'm going to get to the top of the lighthouse. Not today, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, it's like way over here. So, yeah, probably not this month. Next month I should get it. Yeah, my working tray is full of blues. I love blue. It's my favorite color. Used to be pink when I was a kid, and then when I was around 9 or 10, it changed, and now blue's been my favorite ever since. Then back to this big block here. That just sort of breaks it all up so I don't overdo it. So yeah, like I said, this color is starting to slope this way, but it's still doable to keep it, the whole work, slanting this way for now. I may change as I get further along or not. It sort of depends. Sometimes, even though the whole big shape is sloping this way, the colors are still sort of in stripes going this way, so then I don't have to change the angle. It all depends. So yeah, today I've been kind of stitching over a fairly large area back and forth. That's just sometimes how that works out. Like I say, I don't go by row, it's just the colors really and what makes sense to me. Oh, look at that. We hit 14% even. Sweet. Oh, we're getting close to hitting 43,000 total completed too. So yeah, I stitched diagonal-ish, but as you can see, it sometimes ends up looking not very diagonal. Just all depends. The bigger blocks tend to do that. Turn things into different shapes there. Okay, this one I think was not too long. Okay, we may need to reset here. We shall see. I may have too many live ones. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go sort of vertically a bit to keep from closing things in here as I work along this edge. Kind of do this until the thread runs out. Okay, so I can see what I'm going to do here. Park this right here. Okay, then I'm gonna tidy this up a bit. As you can see, it's a little turning into a little bit of a tangle, so that is an easy thing to fix. Just remove these needles and carefully pull these apart. So I'm going to continue to work down towards the left for a while. That way I don't have as many live needles. Things don't get as tangled. I can do up to 15 or so, but I try to keep it less than that because it just is less likely to cause issues. Oh, that would not be correct. I think I can get, yeah. Let's see. No, maybe not. Yeah, this is pretty short, so I think I'm actually going to tie this one off. So yeah, I don't always work from the top down either. Sometimes it's more from the side and the bottom up. Just whatever works to still grow out from that left-hand edge. Okay, so start a new one right here. Shall we stitch till we hit 43,000 total? Why not? We're pretty close to that. Yeah. Less than 30 stitches till we get there, and with this bigger block here, that shouldn't take long at all. Yeah, so pretty soon it will be time to take this off the frame and show you guys the whole thing for the monthly update progress video. Yeah, didn't get to 15, but I did get more than I thought. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the whole first pass done, and I definitely did that, plus quite a bit on this side as well, so yeah. I'm thinking we should get the peacock's neck within this next upcoming month. Shouldn't be a problem because, yeah, there's a lot more sky here, so not as many colors, and then his neck is not very many colors either. It's about 4 or 5 colors, so that will go by pretty quickly. And one nice thing is his neck is sloping the way I like to stitch as well. So then it goes even faster. Whoops, I was trying to move, but I was still in markup mode. So yeah, now that I've gone sort of out this far, I've stopped working on this, and I'm going to just continue on down this way, then go back up to the top again. Yeah, I find sort of once my swath gets a little too wide, it's time to cut it off and just do one more narrower strip of it for a while. Actually, we'll go a little bit past 42,000 total. So I like to stop at a natural break point on the pattern and not necessarily by the numbers. So yeah, right there. Set it aside because I'm going to carry on, like I said, stitching, filling in this area. Oh, we went over 300 total. Yeah, we're 301. We're 14.01% done, and we're 43,002 stitches done. So yeah, that was a really productive session. I'm quite happy with the progress made there. But as usual, thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here again another time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.